Welcome to White Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week, Black Phone 2 was released on home video. The film is a sequel to 2021's The Black Phone and stars Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, Jeremy Davis and Ethan Hawke reprising their roles from the previous film, with Demian Bashir joining the cast. The sequel follows the siblings Finney and Gwen struggling with PTSD after the events of the first film as they head to a winter youth camp to investigate the origins of the grabber who is now haunting them from hell. So this was my first time watching the film. I had actually liked the first film. I probably should have rewatched it before watching the second film, but I was procrastinating, but I had liked the first film. But I thought it worked better as a true crime drama rather than a horror movie. But a major red flag for me for the sequel was that they'd upped the rating to 18 for strong bloody violence, which is always a red flag for me. Despite that, I thought the film explored interesting themes like PTSD and the grabber's origins, and I like the fact that the film is a snowbound paranoia, but with Inception-like concepts of dream and reality thrown in. Because like the gag is, the grabber is there. He's come back as a spirit from hell, but only Gwen can see him when she's dreaming, and if he attacks her in the dream, it sort of like affects her in reality, that type of thing. And I thought that Thames, McGraw, and Davies give great performances in some scenes, but I thought the film was a little clunky, yeah. And frankly, the 18 rated gore was unnecessary. There's like horror films I respect, like the original Halloween or Rennie Harlan's Strangers trilogy. You know, what's good about them is that they know that they don't need masses of gore. Like, you don't need to see. I think in the original Halloween, it was reclassified as a 15 because there's very little blood, or at least not that you see. And I thought that was actually quite good. So I gave Black Phone 2 3.5 stars out of 5. It's on home video now. This week, The Smashing Machine was released on home video. The film is a biographical sports drama and is an adaptation of a 2002 documentary of the same name. The film stars Dwayne Johnson as MMA fighter Mark Kerr and Emily Blunt as his girlfriend. The film follows Kerr during 1999 and 2000 as he takes part in a tournament in Japan, sort of like a regional lesser offshoot of UFC, which even though his personal life is falling apart due to struggles with addiction and relationship issues with his girlfriend. So Johnson and Blunt were Golden Globe nominated for their performances. They weren't Oscar. They were snubbed at the film was snubbed at the Oscars. So I went into this film not knowing the true story, and I thought that Dwayne Johnson puts in his absolute career best performance. Like, I like his action films like Fast and Furious 5, Rampage. I thought his previous career best performance, which I think I said on this program, was Black Adam, which I really liked his performance in Black Adam because I thought that was so much different than what he'd done before. But this is definitely his career best performance, and I also think it's his career best film. Like, as I said, I like those action films that he's done. Fast and Furious, Rampage, Black Adam, Red Notice. All that type of stuff. But what works best about his performance in The Smashing Machine is that, what he's done to completely transform himself. He's covered up his tattoos, his body's physically different, he's wearing a wig for most of it, and even the shape of his eyes is different, so that he's done something to change the shape of his eyes so it doesn't look like him. Even if you're looking at him directly in the face, he does look pretty unrecognisable. And his performance just helps to elevate the themes of the film and give more impact to the film. So, even if you look at his relationship with his girlfriend as abusive or controlling or whatnot, his performance in the film still makes you want to root for his character. So, I gave the film 5 stars out of 5. Which was brilliant. The Smashing Machine is on home video now. Oh, pardon me. So I'm just gonna. So this week was also the Oscar nominations. For the full list, check out various outlets and websites online. But I'm just gonna run through the Best Picture nominees. So the nominees for Best Picture are Begonia. Haven't seen that yet. Comes out on Blu-ray in a couple of weeks. I might get it. F1, which I really liked. Frankenstein, which I really loved. Hamnet, not seen. Pre-ordered the Blu-ray. So, Marty Supreme. I'm waiting to pre-order the Blu-ray when that comes along, because heard good things. One Battle After Another, which is coming up next week, which I'm going to watch next week. So, and I think it's very hotly tipped as being the favourite for Best Picture. The Secret Agent, which is Brazil's entry for Best International Feature Film. And also The Actor got a Best Actor nomination. Sentimental Value, which was Norway's submission for Best International Feature, which got a nomination there. And it's also got 4 acting nominations alongside it, including Stellan Skarsgård. Sinners, the Michael B. Jordan vampire thriller, which I honestly didn't get. I watched it and gave it, 3 stars? So, I just didn't get it. Can't claim to have got it. I might rewatch it before the Oscars. And this Netflix film called Train Dreams is the last nomination. And I know very little about it, other than Joel Edgerton was quite hotly tipped for awards nominations for it. But not really knowing much. Don't really know much about it. I might give it a watch at some point. If I also get the chance, might also check out Sentimental Value. It was Secret Agent, but it's not like the 2020 Oscars from just where Parasite was the big upset over 1917, where I'd pretty much seen all the nominees. So I don't tend to have seen a lot of the Best Picture nominees. So, 2 years ago? Seen Oppenheimer. Really loved Oppenheimer. Watched it again this year, 2026. Loved it even more than the last time I watched it. So, as I hadn't seen it since my original review of it. So yeah. But yeah, One Battle After Another is the bookie favourite to win. But these things always produce an upset. Personally, I'm hoping for Frankenstein, because I haven't seen a lot of the other nominees yet. F1's not in with a very good chance. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week, where, as I said, I'll be talking about One Battle After Another, so I'll be watching that next week. And I'll also be talking about the BAFTA nominations, because that's next Tuesday. So, see you next time.